welcome back. So in this video, we are going to create an automation that will send Yahoo Finance news to specific Discord channels. So essentially, when a new article comes out relating to the stock market, we'll have Discord send it to one stock market related channel. If it's related to crypto, we'll have it send it to a different channel related to crypto. And maybe we'll come up with additional filtering. But that is the goal for the workflow. Now make sure your other workflows are turned off, just because one of them was constantly grabbing the price of Bitcoin, and I believe that should eventually break because I never paid for the API. So unless you guys paid for the API to do that, you should get to a point where it does not allow you to query it anymore. So let's first go over to create a workflow and let's think through this logically before we do anything. So I listed some of the requirements or some of what we want to do for this workflow. And the first being, we want to send over news relating to stocks from Yahoo Finance. So to do that, we have to use the RSS feeds action or node within n8n. And what this allows us to do is we can use a URL like this. And if I search, and it'll give us this type of data. So it'll give us the title, so Yahoo Finance, and then the link as well as the description. So if we go down here, we can see the title for this article is Microsoft CEO sends a surprising message on quantum computing. Go down here, this specific stock shed 15.15% anew on dismal earnings, and so on. So we got Roku, Lumen Technologies, EchoStar, Coinbase dropped 16%. Bunch of stock news. I don't see any crypto. I'm just going to search crypto to make sure we get anything. Coinbase and the stock market. Okay, so I think we're gonna have to reword our switch statement. We'll have to come up with something, but this is all stock market. There doesn't seem to be anything relating to crypto besides crypto companies. Maybe let me try Bitcoin and nothing. BTC, okay, nothing. But anyways, all you have to know or understand is that this file is just allowing us to grab the article details from Yahoo Finance. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to head over to n8n. Well, first ChatGPT, and I'll have this link in the resources for this lecture, but we're going to copy this link and we're going to head over to n8n, and we want to think of how we're going to use this. So in this case, and you could do it differently if you want, but in this case, I am going to have a trigger that says whenever a new article is posted to Yahoo Finance, that's when this workflow is going to run. So what we want to do is click add first step, and then type in RSS. Now, if you do RSS read, this is going to have to be a manual trigger because every time you execute it, it's going to read whatever's shown on your feed and do whatever you specify to do with that. But we want an automatic trigger to when new articles come out, we want to automatically run this workflow and do something with those articles. So what we can do here is we can click RSS Feed Trigger, and here we'll enter in our feed URL, and it will run every minute or how often we want this to run. I'm just going to say every minute, and I'm going to say fetch test events, and we can see we have pulled one article from Yahoo Finance. And this is one of the articles we just read about the Microsoft CEO. So the RSS Feed Trigger is going to run automatically. It's going to run every minute on a schedule. It's going to run every minute, and it's going to look at this feed. It's going to go to this site, and it's going to see if any new articles have popped up, and then it's going to pull that and post it to our Discord once we set that up. All right, so that was the easy part. That didn't take any time at all. That took 1 second. So let's click save, I guess, just to, we got that hard work done. Now let's save it. Now let's go ahead and think of what we have to do next. So the idea is to post this to Discord. So before we even think about trying to set up a switch statement or an if-else statement to separate the type of content we're sending in, let's first get our Discord bot set up. Click on this plus icon here and then type in Discord and click on Discord. And what we're going to do is send a message. So I'm going to click send a message, and our connection type will be a bot token, and we need our credentials for this bot. So if I click create new credential, well, I'm going to need the token for the bot, and I don't have a bot made yet. So let's close out of that, or actually, let's not close out of that. Let's click this Ask Assistant right now. So essentially, this Ask Assistant is just going to reach out to an AI model. We send our message to the assistant, and then they look up based on their knowledge source on how to do this specific action. So I said, or automatically it said, how do I set up the credentials for Discord bot API? I am using a bot token, and here are the steps they specify. So creating a Discord bot is not too tricky, but you have to be sure that you're following these steps one by one. Make sure you're following it thoroughly, because it is easy to mess up if you don't follow it right. So let's see what you have to do. It says go to the Discord developer portal. So I'm going to highlight this URL here, and I'm going to right click and say go to. And now I am signed in here with a list of my applications. If you are not signed in yet, go ahead and sign in with your Discord account if you have a Discord account. Otherwise, feel free to create one. And before we actually do anything else, let's actually go to discord.com and then sign in with our account. Okay, so I'm now signed in with my Discord account. I'm going to head over to the CloudTrader Academy Discord. And if you don't already have a Discord server made, feel free to click add a server and then create your own server and then follow the steps I'm doing here. So what I'm going to do is I'll leave this as blank. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm going to head back to our Discord application, and actually let's refer back to n8n. Let's see what the next steps are. I'm going to assume they want us to create an application. Let's go look at these settings. It says create a new application and give it a name. Head back to Discord. So I'm going to select to create a new application, and I already have an application named n8n, so I'm going to come up with a different name. I'll say n8n stock bot. I guess that's a fine name. And let's click create. Confirm I'm not a robot. All right. Now let's head back to our workflow, and it says in the left-hand menu, select bot, and then click add bot. Let's head back to our Discord portal here, click on bot. Okay, so we're now at the bot category, and the next part says under token, click reset token to generate your bot token, and then copy this token. Okay, so let's click reset token here, and don't let other people see this token. This should be for your eyes only, and I'll have to remember to delete the stock bot afterwards. But I'm going to click reset token. I'm going to say yes, do it, and I'm going to enter my password. There we go. I now have my token. I'm going to click copy, and now we can go back to the next steps. Okay, so step 1 is done. We now have to do step 2. We have to configure the bot's permission and intents. So within the bot section, or the category we're in now, it says enable any privileged gateway intents your bot needs. So server members intent, if you want to access members' data. I'm not sure if we'll need that, but just to make sure we have everything checked off, just to have it, let's go ahead and grant message intent, server intent, and presence intent. Now, I don't think we actually need presence intent, and definitely don't need server members intent, but whatever. We'll save it, and let's head back to n8n. So now we have all this. It does say in the bot permissions, select the permissions your bot will need. So let's head back to our Discord platform, or our Discord portal, and let's give our bot different permissions. I'm just going to say administrator just to make it easy, because I am going to have the bot send messages in a Discord channel that does require staff privileges to access. So I'm going to leave just admin here. I don't need anything else, or I guess admin covers everything else. So it says in OAuth 2 URL generator, select the bot scope and the permissions you want, and then copy the URL, open it in your browser, and add the bot to your server. So let's head back. Let's go to OAuth 2. We have to come over here to the URL generator and click on the bots action here, or the bot selection here. And oops, and then the bot permission, we'll just specify again as admin. And let's click on this URL down here. And now open a new tab and go to this URL. All right, so now I have the option to add this stock bot to my server. And you could specify a server here if you have multiple. I just have this one, so I'm going to click on continue, and I'm going to say authorize. Yes, I'm not a bot, and there we go. And then come back here, and I'm actually going to give my bot a profile picture just so it's not, you know, this bland picture. And there we go. Now it has a logo of CloudTrader Academy, and now it's good to go. Let's head over to our Discord. Let's look at our members list, and now we can see my n8n stock bot with the updated profile picture. This is my other bot I made for testing, but this is the one we just made. Okay, cool. So let's head back to n8n, and now we're going to click in bot token and paste in our token that we got from this screen right here. So if you have to reset it again to copy it, if you need to recopy that. Otherwise, head back to n8n and paste that token in. All right, perfect. So I believe we're all set now. Let's verify. It says in n8n, go to credentials and create a new credentials for Discord bot API. Paste your token into bot token field. Save the credentials. Same thing works here. I'm just going to click on save. Oops, I had to recopy my token over because I think I actually copied the URL to invite the bot. So I had to fix that. And there we go. Let's click save. And now we have successfully connected our Discord bot. Okay, so now we have to do something here. We have to select our channel that we want to send this message to, our server. So let's select the server that this bot is in. Now this is the one server it's a part of. And we could do send a channel, send a user. We're going to say channel, and let's go down to channel. And I'm going to select, I'm just going to do stocks. Just because. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to say, let's drag in the title of the article, and we'll just leave it like that. Let's execute this step and make sure that this can go through. Okay, so it should have sent the message. Let's go verify, and we can verify that yes, that article link did get sent over, or not the link, but the article title. So now we can see our bot is working. Our workflow is working. We are now able to send our RSS feed of stock news over to our Discord channel. Let's head back to n8n and let's think of what else we could do here. So let's click back to Canvas. Let's try to think how we can expand on this and implement some type of switch logic. So I'm going to just first do a switch statement here. So I'm going to add, and again, you don't always have to add something at the end here. You can go in the middle of the trigger and the action, or in the middle of two actions, and you can click a plus icon here to add a step in between. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to say switch. I'm going to click on switch. Okay, so now that we have our switch statement up and created, we now have to apply some routing rules. So what we're going to do here is click add routing rule, and we're going to say if the value title, and again, before we go too deep into switch statements, just know that these rules are applied to the data coming into it from our trigger. So essentially we're going to say if this value from our trigger, so if the title is equal to something, then we're going to send it this way. If it's equal to something else, we're going to send it elsewhere. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say if where in the string of the title, we're going to say if it contains the characters, I don't know, Microsoft, then go do something. How about let's add another routing rule. And again, just to reiterate what this is doing is whatever article is being sent over, we're going to parse through this title. We're going to look at the characters in the title. We're going to see if any of the words contain Microsoft in it. If they do, then we're going to go ahead and send it over to a specific channel. Let's do a similar thing with the title again. I'm going to say if the title contains, because that's the easiest for our use case, if the title contains, now for this one, I'm going to say if the title contains SPY, because SPY is a very popular ETF or exchange traded fund. If it contains that, then we're also going to do something. We have those two rules. Let's add a completely different company. I'm going to say title, if the title is equal to, or if the title contains, and I just want to point something out. If you know regular expressions at all or want to learn them, it would really help with the data you're filtering. Regular expressions allow you to go, I guess, very in detail with the type of data you're getting. So that's definitely worth looking into or asking ChatGPT to write you some regular expression to get certain data. So we're not going to worry about that. Again, beginner course. We're going to keep it as simple as possible. Let's go back to contains, and we're going to say if the title contains NVIDIA, I spelled that right? I think I did. So if it contains NVIDIA, then we'll go do something else. Okay, so we have three options right now. I think that's good. If I execute this step, nothing's going to go because the title of the most recent feed was AI. So it's not good for testing in our case. If we want, we can add a routing rule to maybe pick up AI. If we want a channel dedicated to AI, that could be helpful. So I'm going to again add another routing rule. So we have 4 total. I'm going to say where the title contains the word AI in it. I'm going to add a space after. Not sure if that makes a difference, just because I don't want to risk getting any words with the letter AI in it. So that should help. Let's click execute step, and we should get one output. So our third rule here, or our fourth rule rather, has one item as an output, whereas our others have no output. So that's why they're blank, because none of them contain the word AI, or rather, this title didn't contain any of these words, NVIDIA, SPY, or Microsoft. So that's why we didn't get anything for those. All right, let's click back to Canvas and let's see what we have here. So we now have our Discord send message completely broken off from this switch statement. And what I want to do here is I'm going to have to make another Discord node And there could be a better way to do this, but I'm just going to do this for now. So I'm going to right click this. I'm going to click on duplicate, and let's come down here. And let's think of what we want to do. So if you remember, the top routing case was for if the title contained the word Microsoft. The second was if the title contained the word spy. So I'm going to also send that here. Or if the routing contained NVIDIA, I'll send that down here. And then AI could also be related. Now, something I also want to do here is I want to also send this routing rule of where if the title contains spy, I also want to send it down here because it's also relevant. So if you're familiar with stock trading at all, it is relevant to know how SPY is performing because that also will help you gauge on how well these other stocks might be performing. So if you're not from a finance background, that's completely fine. Essentially what I'm saying is SPY is an exchange traded fund, and you can view it as the overall health of the market, or at least one big indicator of the health of the market, because essentially SPY is just a combination of a bunch of different companies and how well their stock is doing. So if SPY is down, then that's good to know if you're interested in the Microsoft stock or the NVIDIA stock, because most likely those stocks will be down as well. So what I did here was I just clicked this circle here and then dragged and dropped another connection from our switch statement to our Discord app or Discord action. So now this rule here, where if it equals SPY or if the title contains SPY, it's going to two different Discord actions. And up here, I have Microsoft and SPY. Now I'm going to say if it contains AI to also come up here to our Discord. And actually, let me do this. Let me rename the output name because it is a little confusing just to have output 1, output 2, and so on. So let me rename these. NVIDIA, we have SPY, and now we're going to do AI. That'll be a lot easier to see. So let's go back. Okay. So now we have our 4 outputs. Let me zoom in actually. We have our 4 outputs. We have Microsoft, SPY, NVIDIA, and AI. And I said, maybe if you're interested in Microsoft and SPY, you'll also want to know, news on AI. It could be helpful. So I'm going to drag this connection here over to our top action up here. Now, if you analyze our green connections, that means that this output would send to both of our Discord actions. So my idea here is that this action up here is going to send a message to one channel, and this down here is going to send it to another channel. So let me go do this. I'm going to head back to Discord. I'm going to click on create channel. And that's funny. One of the Yahoo Finance titles was this. So this came through. I mean, I don't think that's really relevant to our interest in stocks, but whatever. Let's create channel, and let's create a channel called Microsoft. And let's also create a channel called NVIDIA. There we go. Now, NVIDIA, very popular company. They make graphics cards, if you're not familiar. And Microsoft, I think everyone knows what Microsoft is. All right, so we have Microsoft channel and NVIDIA channel. Let's head back to n8n and let's modify these Discord actions. So for the top one, I'm going to say, we want to send these messages over to our Microsoft channel. So click on Microsoft, click execute. There we go. It's sent over to our Discord channel, our Discord Microsoft channel. Let's verify. Head back over to Discord, Microsoft. So we can see we have a new message here about AI coming for consultants. Let's come back to n8n and let's set up our other Discord action. And we're going to say this one will send its data over to NVIDIA. So there we go. And we can go back and okay. So let me actually rename this. So I'm going to come up here to the name of this action. I'm going to say send a message to NVIDIA channel. I'm going to highlight all this and copy it because I'm going to rename the other one. Okay, send a message to NVIDIA channel. I'm going to come up here and rename this action as well. And I'm going to say send everything or sending messages to Microsoft channel, or whatever I said. Okay, so send a message to Microsoft channel and send a message to NVIDIA channel. Perfect. So just to reiterate what we did, we are pulling data from Yahoo Finance or Yahoo Finance.news, whatever the URL is. And whenever a new article is posted, we are going to run through this switch statement. And then based on if the article title matches the keywords listed here, it will send to the designated channel. And it is possible for it to send to both channels. So let's click on save here. We've done a bit more work. Let's click on execute workflow and let's see what happens. Okay, so workflow went through successfully and nothing ran. So that tells me a new article came out and it is not related at all to our conditions. So here we go. It looks like a new article came in. It's called Living Paycheck to Paycheck. Try this person's money saving tips. So not really helpful here. We can try to execute again and see if another article came through. Nothing came through. It doesn't look like, or actually, let me just click this and fetch test event, and nothing new is coming in, just this paycheck to paycheck stuff. All right, oh well. But essentially what we have going on here is whenever an article comes in with one of these keywords, it will go through to either this one, or it has the potential to go to both. So right now AI goes to both and SPY goes to both. If you highlight Microsoft, there's only one connection. Highlight NVIDIA, one connection. Highlight AI, and we got both these connections. SPY, both these connections. All right, perfect. So we have built a actually pretty useful workflow that sends Yahoo Finance news over to our Discord channels. So let's come over here and reformat our messages here. And what I'm going to do here is I have this JSON.title, and that's the title of the article. And you'll notice that it's not highlighted green, and that's because our previous data hasn't been triggered, because the RSS feed, we're just getting this paycheck to paycheck article. So that's not related to our switch statement values at all. So because it doesn't meet the rules of our switch statement, we're not getting that dynamic data coming through. So if I go ahead and type a JSON and I try to grab data from it, there's nothing there because I have nothing to work off of. So what I could do instead of doing this is, if I want to better visualize, I could just say, oops, let's delete that. I'm going to do double brackets. And actually, I don't have to do that. Let me be lazy. I'm just going to drag in this. I'm going to drag in the title. Now this won't actually execute anything because it still hasn't met our switch statement rules, but at least it allows me to format it so that when something does match my rules, my switch statement rules, it will send it in this format. So the first line of the message will be the title. Our next line is going to be the link to the URL, and that's all we're going to do. So we have our title and then the link to the article. Now, unfortunately, if I execute this, nothing's going to happen because this is coming from data that doesn't meet our use case. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to Control A to highlight this, copy, head back to Canvas, head down to our Discord channel down here, and update this as well. There we go. Let's head back to Canvas. And I really want to see what this looks like. So I'm going to have to modify these rules to, I guess, work with whatever the latest article is. So this is still the latest article. So I'm just going to have to work with that. I'm going to have to say maybe if the article contains paycheck. So let me head over here and let me actually redo the SPY one to say paycheck. So there we go. I'm going to output name is going to be paycheck. Execute that step. And if we go over to the paycheck output, we can see that it meets this criteria. Let's head back to Canvas and let's just execute the workflow. You would not believe it. I executed the workflow and a new article comes in about jobs report. Okay, so let me do this one more time. Let me come over here and we're just going to say Fed. We're going to say the word Fed. If Fed is included, hopefully this is the last time I have to do this. If Fed is included, rename, execute step. Okay, Fed has come through. Head back to Canvas quickly, execute the workflow, and there we go. Okay, so we can see that the workflow ran successfully. It says that one article came through. It matched our condition of containing the word Fed, and it sent that item over to our appropriate Discord channels. So if we head over to Discord, we can see the newest title of the article as well as the link to it, and we specify to send to both of these channels if it contains this word. So if I want to head back to our workflow, I can now, well, now that we know what it looks like, let's just go and fix this. Back to SPY, delete that, execute step, nothing should come out, that's expected, and there we go. Execute workflow, nothing should happen, that's expected. All right, let's click on save. So just like that, we have built a workflow with a switch statement that is looking for different stock market related news and then sending them to the channels we specified. All right, so I apologize if this episode was a little long, but we did build something that was pretty useful. If you're into Discord at all, and you want to run a stock related channel or server rather, or if you want to run AI related server, anything like that, you can grab these articles from any site that supports these RSS feeds, and then you could automatically post this data over to different Discord channels. We could also set up something where we're manually searching for specific stock tickers. You could do that as well with RSS Feed. So instead of RSS Feed Trigger, you could have something else to manually look up RSS feed. So the trigger could be like, I don't know, sending a Discord message with the criteria like maybe I say spy. And once I send that, then our workflow would see this message is sent, and then it would automatically search up, whatever spy related material. That's just an idea. I haven't actually confirmed that, but I did see on RSS feed that that is something, or RSS read rather, that is something that could be done. So maybe if you want to challenge yourself and try that, go ahead. Otherwise, we're going to go into our next lecture where we're going to build our final project for n8n, which is our resume AI assistant. It's going to be our biggest one so far, so I hope to see you there, and hopefully you are enjoying working with n8n as much as I have enjoyed working with this platform. So definitely worth learning. All right, I'll see you in the next one.